Morning. Welcome to the July 24th, 2017 meeting of the Rutherford County Regional Planning Commission. If y'all would stand with us, please, for our invocation and our pledge. Bow with us, please. Our Father in heaven, Lord, we're thankful for this day. We're thankful for the many blessings of life. Thank you for Rutherford County and the opportunities that we have as citizens living in Rutherford County. Be with this commission as we make decisions that are in the best interest of all the citizens of Rutherford County. God bless this country. God bless this state. Be with our service men and women as they are protecting us on foreign soil. Keep them safe. Bring them back home. We ask once again that you be with this commission and that we make decisions that are in the best interest of all of us. In God's name we pray. Amen. Flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Call the roll, please, Gal.
Rhonda Allen, Jim Averwater, Lee Bogle,
Here.
David Jones,
Here.
Mike Cush, Craig Lynch,
Here.
Chip Pinion, Charlotte P.
Here.
Mike Vaught,
Here.
Jeff Phillips.
Present.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, we need to approve the minutes for our April 24th meeting, and I'll call on our long-term past chairman, Craig Lynch, to read those minutes.
Mr. Chairman, I do so make a motion that we approve those minutes.
Thank you. And we have a motion and a second to approve the April 24th meetings. All those in favor of that motion, please say aye.
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 Motion carries. We have one item that's been withdrawn, and that's item 6A4, 17-2050, and that's the Tiny Town final plat approval. Item 6A1 submitted for final plat approval. 17-2005, the retreat at Pinnacle Hill, Section 2, 25 lots on 6.9 acres zone PUD, located off Thompson Road. Parks Trust Development is the applicant. Doug.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Good morning, Commission members. These first two items are actually both kind of in the same situation. They're both just reapprovals. This plat that we're looking at right now was approved by the Planning Commission back in January of this year. Construction is taking longer than anticipated, which has caused a delay in recording of the final plat. As you recall, in our regulations, final plat approvals are good for 6 months unless they're recorded. Once they're recorded, they're fine. But this is going to lapse pretty really at the end of this month. So the applicant would just like reapproval for this. They anticipate being ready to record a plat within the next 2 to 3 months. So that plat's in good order.
Any changes?
No, sir.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve item 17-2005, the retreat at Pinnacle Hills. Any questions? All those in favor of that motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you. 6A2, 17-2018, Clear Creek, Section 1, reapproval, 44 lots on 37.5 acres, zone PUD, located off Amberville Road. Parks Development is the applicant.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Again, this is a similar situation from the one you just looked at. This one was approved back in February. Again, construction is taking a little longer. They don't anticipate being done before the plat expires next month. They just wanted to go ahead and get ahead of the game. So again, no changes on this plat.
Any questions?
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve item 17-2018. Any questions? All those in favor of that motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you. 6A3, 17-2047, Stewart Aaron Carlton subdivision, 5 lots on 2.6 acres on RL, located at the southeast intersection of Highway 99 and Mount Vernon Road. Stewart Aaron Carlton is the applicant.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. This plat will probably look familiar. This was on the Planning Commission's agenda at the last day meeting back in June. It was deferred at that meeting because there were still several outstanding items on the plat. Since that time, we've met with the applicant. We've met with the applicant's surveyor as well. And as we assumed it was going to happen, we figured it was going to happen because of the issues that were still outstanding, they're going to end up losing a lot. So they're showing a 4-lot subdivision now. The applicant has taken our comments, and the surveyor has taken our comments and has made the adjustments necessary. The plat is a lot cleaner than it was. There was a lot, if you remember last month, there was a lot of markings on it. The scale wasn't quite at a scale that we could really appropriately read it at. But after talking to them, and they've made several changes, this plat's actually in really good order now. We don't have any outstanding issues that I recall. Everything's pretty good with it, so we recommend approval at this time.
Drainage good, Mike?
Yes, sir. They will do what we have been with other infill lots. We're going to have them do a critical lot grading plan on each lot, and they'll probably have to come up with some water quality treatment, rain garden, or some other feature to offset the additional runoff. And they've added notes to reflect that.
You ready? Motion to approve. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 17-2047, Stewart Aaron Carlton subdivision. Other questions? All those in favor of that motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposition? Motion to approve carries. Doug, let me just say, it's a good job, good work. The system worked exactly like it was supposed to. Staff, commission, and the applicants all working together to come up with a good plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Item 6A4 has been withdrawn. Item 6A5, 17-2052, Heidi's 1-lot subdivision. 1 lot on 3.4 acres on RM located off Faldo Drive. Chad and Kelly Molitar, and Horizon 4 is the applicant. Doug?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Typically, 1-lot subdivisions are handled administratively. The reason this is coming before you today is you can see here at the end of Faldo Drive, this is the Southridge subdivision over there off of what's now Veterans Parkway. They're adding just a little bit of right-of-way in this area right here, and you can see it here on the inset a little clearer. The reason that they're doing that is in order to get a 50-foot lot frontage along a public right-of-way. Right now, it's not quite 50 foot. They're adding just enough to make that a 50-foot, and this will be accessed off of Faldo Drive. The applicant, as you can see, this is something we're looking at administratively. They're going to cut off a couple more lots here, but they have frontage along Southridge, so we're not as worried about those, and we can handle that administratively. The only reason this is coming before you is because of that right-of-way dedication that will happen as a part of this. There weren't a whole lot of comments on this particular plat. I believe
Any additional lots.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Any
Okay,
additional
yes.
lots will require a temporary turnaround. If they bring more lots in, we'll have to have a paved turnaround at the end of Faldo.
Yeah, but beyond that, this plat's in good order. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah.
We happen to answer any questions. The applicant is present as well. If you have questions,
Staff has a recommendation.
we're fine with recommending.
Will Faldo Drive have to physically be extended, or is that just to get the dimensions correct?
Well, if they divide off any more lots, we'll have to have a permanent paved turnaround.
I mean, as far as the small section
Oh.
related to this lot, it's not really going to be a road segment to be
No,
built. They
it's
can,
just
they can
driveway.
access without
It'll
it.
be a driveway connection.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 17-2052, Heidi's 1-lot subdivision. Any other questions? All those in favor of that motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you. 6A6, 17-2053, Lewis Downs, Section 3, Phase 2, lots 220 through 233, 14 lots on 7.26 acres, zoned RM, located off Rhonda Drive. Salem Creek Partnership is the applicant.
Yes, thank you. The preliminary plan for this development was approved back in February of 2016. The final plat for Phase 1 of this particular section was approved in the Planning Commission back in June of 2016 and then was recorded back in September. This final plat is consistent with that preliminary approval and even the Phase 1. This is consistent with what was left on this particular phase. There were a couple of housekeeping items that we had. The applicants addressed those, so it's in good order. So we'd recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 17-2054 Gregory Farms 1.
Well, this is
lot.
Lewis Downs. This is Lewis Downs.
I'm sorry, I just checked off the wrong one. My bad. We have a motion and a second to approve item 17-2053 Lewis Downs, Section 3. Any other questions? All those in favor of that motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? That motion to approve carries. Thank you. Now we're ready for 6A7, 17-2054 Gregory Farms, 1 lot subdivision, 1 lot on 1.5 acres on the RM located off Florence Road. Omar Gregory is the applicant.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. As you stated, this application is located along Florence Road. He's proposing to subdivide approximately 1.5 acres off of an existing 18.5 acre tract. This is similar to the Heidi 1 lot subdivision that we just reviewed. The plat itself is in good order and typically would have been handled administratively, but as you can see on the plat that's on your screens there, they are dedicating some right of way through here. This is really more of a prescriptive easement. The deeds went to the center of the road, so as part of this, they're just dedicating that 25 feet off center that we would require on a road. So with that, this plat is in good order. We'll be happy to answer any questions. We recommend approval.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve item 17-2054 Gregory Farms 1 lot subdivision. Other questions? All those in favor of that motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you. 6A8, 17-2055 Crowell subdivision, 1 lot on 1.13 acres on RL located off McElroy Road. Austin and Sarah Crowell are the applicants. It also includes a waiver for no soils.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We think it's also going to need a waiver for the fire hydrant as well, but I'll explain here. When you look at your agenda packets, the location map that we have on there, you can see that McElroy Road, when it was built years in the past, it split off the remaining property here from the Cal property. So this was actually part of the same tract until the road came through. So this is kind of just a leftover parcel of land is really what was happened here. It still has the same tax map and parcel information as the parent tract. There's no soils on the property, so the applicant is asking for a waiver to that provision. It appears also that they will need a fire hydrant waiver as well. But with that, I mean, this will just have to be marked as a non-buildable lot. As far as the applicant's plans with this, I'm not entirely sure at this point. There's not going to be just a whole lot you can do with it. It may be possible to put a personal accessory structure for storage or something on that. It would have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, but as it is right now, until something is done and more soils work is done on the property, right now it would just be an unbuildable lot. Beyond those issues, everything else is in order with it.
It goes with the piece of property across the road? you're
Correct.
saying?
Yes. This will just make it a separate property. Its own tax map parcel and everything.
Okay,
Are any of the
then-
neighbors interested in that 1 acre? I mean, what are you gonna do?
Well,
with it?
I mean,
There's
that's
not
about the
much
only
you
thing
can-
that I could see doing with it at this point.
They both got the same zone, RL? And they just couldn't survey it off and sell it like it is, it has to do this?
It's less than 5 acres.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And the USDA soils map indicates it's Talbot and Label Rock, so.
So
unlikely
they'd have to
they'll-
go to some neighbor for soils if,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, it is what it is. Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve 17-2055 Crowell subdivision, 1 lot.
Just
Any other
make sure
questions?
everybody knows it doesn't hurt.
And we'll have them put a note on there that says there's no soil, it's unbuildable, so everybody will know.
And you said the fire hydrant could not be supported there.
That's our understanding.
Yeah.
Study.
It's all rock out
We got some of that too.
We don't have it.
there.
You're right.
Other questions? All those in favor of that motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? The motion to approve carries. Thank you.
Now, did that include the fire hydrant waiver?
I guess whoever made the motion.
Right,
would be the one.
whatever your comments, yes.
Okay. Then that would include the waivers, yes.
Okay.
Thank you for that clarification. 6B, submitted for site plan approval, 6B1 17-3020, Rockvale Family Clinic, new construction of 2,400 square feet, medical office building on 2.5 acre lot, zoned OP, located along Highway 99. Penny Matthews is the applicant.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. As you recall, this property was zoned office professional by the Board of Commissioners back in May of this year. The applicant has submitted the site plan to build their medical clinic on the property. We had quite a few comments after reviewing the site plan. A majority of those have been addressed. From a planning standpoint, there's still several what I would call more housekeeping type items that need to be addressed. Like for instance, one of the comments that we had was they needed to change the zoning. They still showed the zoning as residential. They changed the zoning, but then they went ahead and changed the zoning of the surrounding area as well, of the surrounding properties. So, I mean, just things like that just need to be changed. I know Mike's got some concerns as well on the drainage thing, so I'll turn it over to him to let him discuss.
It's not a big concern. We just have some tweaking we need to do on the pond and some grading. This is the original submittal grading plan. We'll work with a design engineer. This one doesn't give me a lot of heartburn. They've got plenty of room to work with the land out here, so I think we can work with this with what we've got. We just need to work with a design engineer and make sure everything's addressed before we grant them a pre-construction approval to get earth moving. But they have addressed most of our comments.
This was always a challenging site. And the applicants working with you is a big deal. And it also would go a long way, I think, with the neighbors surrounding that. So those are things that the applicant and the engineering firm both, you think, are working with you, Mike?
Yes, sir. They always good to work with us. So and like I said, I only have heartburn on the smaller residential subdivision postage size lots. And they've got a few acres of land to work with, and room to spread out and tweak stuff. So I'm not worried at all about this.
With that parking being so close, were there any right-of-way issues? Looks like there's about 140 foot of right-of-way, I guess, total for future. I know that
Yeah,
park
from our
is-
standpoint, yeah, I don't foresee the state coming back, even when they widen, eventually they'll widen this to 5
Like
lanes
plenty
at
to
some point. They
maintain
should
or
have plenty of
something.
room within the existing right-of-way.
Was there a culvert required under that driveway?
It's mostly at the top of the hill, and
Okay.
the water sheets back towards the creek, so
This one's taken some time, and we've seen it, this is about the third time, I suppose, isn't it?
Well, from at least seeing it total, I mean,
Yeah.
the first couple times you saw it was for rezoning.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
is.
But we have seen it, yeah.
Right, I mean, you'll remember when we looked at this the original time, we looked at this at the public hearing, their drawings weren't drawn to scale necessarily, so the buildings and the parking areas looked a lot bigger than they really were. I mean, you can see on the site plan, the vast majority of this site's going to remain undisturbed as far as any building or parking is concerned.
essentially it's going to be the size of a house, but with a parking lot out front. And they're offsetting the drainage with a detention pond, and they're preserving the stream buffer, preserving their soil area. We just have to few massaging things to do, like Doug said, a few housekeeping things.
Make a motion approved.
Second.
So,
Subject to all staff comments.
yeah, it sounds like there are some.
We have a motion and a second to approve 17-3020, the Rockvale Family Clinic. Any other questions? All those in favor of the motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? The motion to approve carries. Thank you. 6B2, 17-3021, Shaver Event Farm, new construction of 1,500 square feet event barn with related parking on approximately 204 acres?
Yes, sir.
204 acres on RM with special exceptional approval located along Bradyville Pike. Mildred Jones is the applicant.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Our final site plan today, this did receive special exception approval by the Board of Zoning Appeals for what we call an retreat, essentially an event venue, back in July of 2016. The site plan submitted appears to be consistent with what the Board of Zoning Appeals was acting upon. Similar to the last site plan, there were a number of items that we identified on this site plan. Almost all of them have been addressed. We do have a few housekeeping items, again, that we would work with the applicant's design engineer on. A couple of things, though, that I did want to bring to the attention, just so everybody is aware. The big issues here, I think, are going to be the water availability and fire protection. Consolidated Utility had indicated that a will serve basically the developer's packet hasn't been submitted for this yet, which shouldn't hold this up any, but that is something that the applicant will need to do. Also, the applicant's going to need to work with Larry Farley, our fire chief, as far as fire protection. When we met and reviewed this plan as staff, Mr. Farley, and he's here if he's got any questions of him, wanted to see a line come up here with a fire hydrant closer to the building in the event something were to happen in this, and the probability this building would have to be sprinkled as well. So those are some issues that they are going to have to work through before getting any building permits moving forward. Those things, make sure those are in order. But as far as the site plan is concerned, it's in pretty good shape. So we're happy to answer any questions that you may have. Mike, did you?
Is this the first time we've seen this?
Yes, this did go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, but the first time the Planning Commission has seen it is today.
Was there any opposition at BZA?
I'm trying to remember. I don't recall if there were some people that spoke. There wasn't a lot of opposition because I don't remember. We got a few phone calls about this. Again, this was last year, but I don't remember this being one of the ones that was overly controversial.
Why go to BZA instead of
It has to do with the size of the property and also the number of events that you're going to have per year. If you have over 10 acres and are going to have less than 30 events, you can go to the Board of Zoning Appeals. If you want to have more than 30 events, even if you have more than 10 acres, you have to go to the Planning Commission for the PUD rezoning. So it's one of two trigger points. It's either the size or the number of events that you want to have that can trigger it. And in this case, it only triggered the BZA.
Doug, can you point out the sort of location on the map you have pulled up there?
It's this large track right here.
Right.
And they're proposing to put it about right in this location.
This will be on back on the track then.
Yes.
I feel like this is a good site for this type of event, scheduling a barn, and I feel like they will definitely go through all of our codes that are needed for fire protection. Site plan looks good. I make a motion for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve 17-3021. That's, David, including all of staff comments.
That's all staff comments included, yes.
Any other questions? All those in favor of the motion to approve, please say aye.
Aye.
Is there any opposition? Motion to approve carries. Thank you. Staff reports.
I have nothing to report at this time, Mr. Chairman. I believe Mike. Yeah.
Doug and I are talking about, I didn't, well, we have been in the past talking about lengthening the review process. So kind of like this Rockvale Family Clinic, we only have time for like one solid review and then a follow-up review once they turn the revisions in. So there's not enough interaction between the design engineers. So we're kind of looking at that, and you might see that in the future, that we're trying to tweak our submittal schedule to give us more interaction time with the design engineers.
Anything else? Our next meeting is scheduled for Monday, the 14th of August, 6 p.m. That'll be on the second floor of the historic courthouse.
You got several, don't you?
We'll have 5 rezoning cases, yes, which we actually had more than that submitted. A couple of them are going to be bumped to different meetings for various reasons, but we'll still have 5, maybe 6. No, 5. No, it is going to be 5. That's right.
Anything else? Thank you for your time, your attendance, and your patience this morning. We're adjourned.